What if CrossFit had a pro card? A way for athletes that have performed well at the CrossFit Games in the past to bypass the first part of the season and automatically qualify for CrossFit semifinals. It's something that we've discussed a bunch, and it's also something that Danny Spiegel recently brought up on a Kettlebells and Cocktails podcast. Today, we thought I'd share our thoughts on the topic as well as our criteria for establishing a pro card in the sport of CrossFit. For starters, let's take a look at why we think this is important. Today, to qualify for the CrossFit Games, you need to go through each step along the way. You do the CrossFit Open in February, CrossFit quarterfinals in March, in late May and early June, you do your semifinal, and then in early August, you do the CrossFit Games. By moving the window of when athletes need to be ready for the CrossFit Games season from early February to late May, there's room for more elite level competitions. These top-end athletes have another opportunity or two to compete, another opportunity or two to earn prize money. And for the developing athletes, it gives them another shot to compete against the best, to just get those reps under their belt, more experience on the competition floor, which will also make them ready to hit the competition floor in semifinals. If you looked at other sports and the best of the best there, like if LeBron James only played 20 regular season games, how would that feel from a fan perspective? Yes, you would see him in the playoffs and he would do wonderful things there, but to have one of the best athletes in the world only playing 1 out of 4 regular season games hurts the NBA. If Serena Williams only played the major championships, yeah, we would be really excited to see her there, but then there's 48 other weeks a year that we do not see her play. I understand CrossFit competitions do a toll on the body, but again, if they have more time for rest, more time for building and training leading into this season, maybe we could see the best of the best on the competition floor more. Another way a pro card would be beneficial is around injuries. Because of the multi-stage knockout style season that CrossFit does have, an injury in February prevents you from advancing down the road. So if we look at Travis Mayer, he had an untimely injury around quarterfinals this year, which basically knocked him out for the rest of the season. If we take a look at the North America East semifinal from last year, it would have been better off with Travis Mayer on the competition floor. He's one of the best athletes in the sport. He is a fan favorite, and having him there would have made the event more exciting, would have increased the level of competition, and created a better experience for the fans, both in person and online. Having Travis Mayer miss the North America East semifinal because of an injury 3 months earlier ultimately did a disservice to the sport and that event itself. Looking ahead to the 2024 season, and let's look specifically at the Torium Pro. With the Oceania women, you have Tia-Clair Toomey-Orr, the greatest woman CrossFitter of all time. She had a baby in May. She has stated that she would like to come back for the 2024 season. You also have Cara Saunders. She has 6 top 10 finishes at the CrossFit Games, including a second place in 2017. She's due with her second child early September 2023. While Cara Saunders hasn't stated her intentions for the next year, both of them may or may not be ready to compete in the CrossFit Open. By having a pro card, those 2 women can choose what is right for them and their children to not have to rush back for an event in February when the meaningful event for 2 of the best of all time is in the end of May. Looking at our criteria for a pro card, this for us is really just a proposal to start developing conversations around this idea. So for us, there are 4 different levels of a pro card based off your performance at the CrossFit Games. The first level is a lifetime qualifications to semifinals. This would be awarded to any athlete who has in the past or in the future finished on the podium at the CrossFit Games. For the women, this would include 29 athletes, and for the men, this is 26. I know this seems like a big number, but ultimately from athletes who were active in the past couple of years, you have 11 women and 10 men. I don't think in the world of CrossFit we can expect anybody to step onto the competition floor who wasn't ready and who wants to put themselves to finish in the bottom of the pack if they've stood on the podium at the CrossFit Games before. But from a fan's perspective, let's say Matt Frazier or Rich Froning or Jason Kliepa or Kristen Holte or Camille LeBlanc-Bassinet wanted to make another run at the CrossFit Games. Having them in a semifinal would include fan excitement. You would have rooting interest for them to make it to the cut line. It would be exciting for them. It would be exciting for the fans to see one of the greats competing with the best in the world, to see if they still got it. And again, having that advancement straight to semifinals, they can focus just on the lead up to it versus qualifying in February. Our second stage of qualification would give a 3-year pro card. So that would mean for the next 3 years following the CrossFit Games, they would automatically advance to semifinals. And those would be athletes who finished in the top 10 of the CrossFit Games. Based off the top 10 criteria, there would be 9 women and 10 men who would have an active pro card. And then those have varying expiries based off of the year that they did qualify. But again, that would create another 9 women, 10 men to advance to semifinals. The third stage is that if you have a top 20 finish at the CrossFit Games, you would have a 2-year exemption to semifinals. There's currently 14 women and 8 men who would have a top 20 pro card. The last level of pro card would be athletes from the past CrossFit Games who finished outside the top 20. They would have the opportunity to automatically advance to semifinals the following year. So looking at the 2023 games, there would be 16 men and 16 athletes who didn't have a higher level of pro card that would automatically be qualified for 2024 semifinals. At a high level, that encompasses our concept of a pro card and how it could be applied to the CrossFit Games season. It also gives off-season competitions just an easy way to add elite invites to it. Rather than have the elites do a qualifier or do an invite process, basically create an opt-in process for anybody with a pro card, even if you want to limit it at 20 spots, can apply and automatically be included in a competition. Basically, this would create less obstacles for the best athletes in CrossFit to compete more. Helps them from a monetary perspective, and it makes a better experience for fans to see their favorite athletes on the floor more than 4 weeks a year. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. If you have any ideas about the pro card or ways to improve it, let us know in the comments, either here or on Instagram. We'd love to hear from you.